What was the best way you would describe Dad as a person?
Dad was dad. That's the biggest thing I can say about it. Dad was dad. You look at a lot of other people, their families, and it was just different.
Very caring dad. I knew from the very beginning that he would be a good father.
He's very strong, and not just a sense of you always think your dad is strong. The guy could take any hit and find a way to push through. I mean, just the stories he's told me, him being homeless at times, and relationships, everything, all take a hard hit with him, but always found a way for a lot of people would have broken down. He just always pushed through. So Dad was strong, very strong.
I mean, definitely, I would make reference to the fact that he loved music, not necessarily playing music, but hearing music. I mean, he loved his Cheap Trick and Queen and Beatles, and I mean, he liked working a lot. Not that he felt like he had to, but he actually enjoyed doing it.
Best way to explain him, he was definitely a servant. So,
Yeah, I mean,
not in a bad way.
Yeah, yeah.
Like he wanted to serve people constantly, and he never told anybody no. His times weren't always the greatest. Like he took forever to do things sometimes, but he never said no. And it may not have been the greatest job in the world, but majority of the stuff he got done for people. Might have been a little rigged up, but still did it.
Everybody felt he would always be there for them. I mean, all the junk that he saved, he would find that right piece of junk and take it and fix whatever it is that the family had a need, stuff for the roof or air conditioners or things. So they shared a lot about what your dad did for them. He was a very caring man.
He kept us active in doing things and learning. I mean, it was just simple things. We worked on cars with him and pulled out rocks and built stuff and worked on things. But because of everything that he taught me then, I can apply that stuff to my life now. And so I would say that's the thing I'm most appreciative of him for, grateful for.
What is your favorite memory of Dad?
Well, in my younger years, it was me listening to his music while I was up playing in the band. Of course, that was my wild, crazy days, and so those were really great memories. But also when he played for the participants at their dances, that they volunteered their time, and who doesn't love music?
As far as his musical talent, I mean, he had to be in a certain environment to really let that happen. It wasn't something that he sought out just in his free time. It was something that he sought out for other people to enjoy.
And then they fell out of that boat, literally they just barely made it, and they both flipped. Yeah.
Of course.
I remember that because I wanted to go in the boat, and they said, no, we're just going to try it out first, go fishing for a little bit, and then it flipped. We watched them all do it. The jokesters.
Going up to Minnesota, being with his mom and dad and his sisters and brothers have always made me feel that a little bit of heaven, was introduced. This is the way it's going to be, the rejoicing and loving the Lord and things. And he brought that by all of us being part of this family. So those are my fond memories. Of course, camping and birthday parties and the event of you kids being born and, the way he reacted, with you guys.
What's like one of your favorite things that Dad taught you that you still use a lot?
Oh, I say every day, just the sense of endeavor to persevere. Always push to, to push to succeed. You know, so it's like that with everything. And as you know, I thank him for how honestly stubborn I am about it. A lot of people, you know, I put a lot of people through a lot of stuff to try and make sure that I do what it is that I love doing or something, you know. But that was the push Dad always gave me, just that endeavor to persevere. So that is that life lesson I have always followed to this day.
Yeah, I just going through this, and as I said before, actually even having you kids, I knew he'd be a good father.
Well, he was creative himself. I mean, even when it came to spending time with us, the kids, I mean, he had to come up with ideas because he certainly didn't have money to just take us out and do things. So, I mean, we used to go on bike rides and stuff with him and he just came up with ideas when he could.
It's too easy to, not be able to see the things that we're doing right now, and we take for granted those types of things. It's, we see it with all of us. And that guy never took that opportunity for granted. Whatever, if it meant being with us, he would give up everything to be with us. He worked because he had to, but if he could have just never worked anymore, even though that's the type of person he was, but it meant being with us, he would have been there in a second. But he wanted to make sure we were taken care of.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And like that rang true even to the end. So I think that is the best way to describe his personality. All those things that I saw of him that you guys comment on, that's how I know that that's who Dad really is.
I always tell people, you may have never met my dad, but if you are ever with me, Becca, and Jake, you pretty much have Dad right there. So between us, we, he is all three of us. Jake as the kind of offish one, doesn't make what he's thinking right out in front of him. Me, I think, is more the sense of humor, a lot more. The laugh, I got the laugh. And then you, the family, that sensitive side of him is what you are basically. So Dad was quiet, but again, strong, a servant, and just he always pushed at least for his family.